Hello everyone, welcome in. I'm jumping back in for another slightly shorter drawing session tonight. I did about 2 hours earlier working on some hand studies and then moving into some gesture and figure drawing. There are still a few things here that I want to go back into and strengthen. These are actually the drawings I'll be submitting for critique tonight. So I want to make one final pass over them, particularly looking at some of the hands, the gesture and the lines, and see how far I can push them before I hand them in. I've got about another hour or so that I want to work on these. So if you've got a sketchbook nearby, feel free to draw along with me or just hang out, watch the process and say hello in the chat. Now for some reason, I can't see anything on my screen. It looks completely pitch black. That is so strange. I'm just gonna close the stream and see if it works if I reopen. Let's see. Okay, cool, now it's showing. So hopefully you caught that intro. I'll probably just read it out again just in case because the screen was completely black for some reason. So I'm jumping back in for another slightly shorter drawing session tonight, continuing on from earlier. And I spent about 2 hours working on these gestures, and I just wanted to add some final touches before I submit them later and get some critique on them. So I just wanted to, like I said, spend a little bit more time on these and just let some music play in the background. So feel free to come and sketch along if you've got a sketchbook nearby and you're wanting to chill out, and feel free to have a chat. You can message me in the live chat and I will get back to you. Hello there, at Zebo Money. How's it going, mate? How are you doing? Where are you from? Where in the world are you watching from? But yeah, anybody else, please do come and say hello. I'm just gonna continue on with these, and when I feel like there's something I wanna add to what I'm doing with the drawings, I'll talk. Otherwise, I'll just let some background music play and address anything that anybody says on the live stream. I'll come and check the chat from minute to minute. Let's see, Guyana, amazing. Hello from Pennsylvania. I've been to the US, but I haven't been to Pennsylvania yet. Definitely haven't been to Guyana. Hopefully I pronounced that right. But that's really cool, welcome. So I'm just gonna continue on. This was the sketch that I didn't finish earlier. Let's see if I can just tilt it up. It's, the model had the hands in front of her and she came up with some really cool poses with the hands. So I was just trying to capture the expressions and stuff. So yeah, I will continue on with this one before making any final changes to the others. And yeah, I will just carry on sketching. And anybody is free to ask a question, or like I said earlier, sketch along with me if they like. I'll just add some here and there. I'm just trying to make sure you can get a good enough view where I can also reach the sketchbook. I'm just going to slide this along slightly. Yes, I'm streaming from Brighton in England. If anyone's familiar with England, it's on the southeast coast. Cool. If I can stop the phone wobbling, that would be good. Lovely. All right. So I'm going to continue on with this first hand that's above the model. Just going to put the volume up a little bit. So I'm just trying to be aware of overlapping forms and foreshortening. Currently mapping in the base knuckles on the hand. I'm just trying to make sure I get the position of each finger in the right place. Whilst also considering the proportion and the size of everything compared to each other. I'm not looking directly above this drawing, I'm looking at an angle. So I'm going to do my best not to distort the proportions. I think this fingertip could probably be a little bit higher. Oh, how's it going? There's some new people here. Thank you so much. Cool, guys. Where are you all from? What part of the world are you watching from? And is anybody new to the channel, or are you already subscribed? So I'm basically doing a bunch of hand sketches, but also with the figure behind the model. And she did a series of poses. And then I had access to the replay afterwards. So I'm just going over that, and I have about an hour left to make some final changes. You saw some guy asking 5-year-olds to donate Laughing Disco and had 2K views. Oh, that's crazy. What? I don't think, yeah, I don't know how that works, but where you guys, where you from? So we've got Pennsylvania and Guyana so far. Where else? Just change this track. See what else we got. I've got a random chilled fantasy playlist. So just like earlier, I'm going to be trying to be consistent with where I put the creases on the underside of the fingers, where the knuckles would be on the other side. And make sure they're consistent and move in the same direction each other. From Iran? No way, that's cool. Are you actually living in Iran at the moment? Or are you living somewhere else? There's quite a few Iranians in England at the moment. I know some actually. I know some Iranians. Just going to move over to a slightly sharpened pencil. And I'm just going to step over. Oh, you live there? Wow. Are you also an artist? Yeah, it must be tough living over there right now. Very tough. I'm just standing over the sketch just to make sure that I'm getting fingers in the right place. Or as close as possible anyway. So the middle finger here touches and it just sort of falls behind the ring finger. And then the fun itself, it's actually so close to the camera that I need to draw it bigger than how it appears here. It's very close. There might be a little bit of distortion, so you've got to be careful of that as well. Let's see. And also need to change, I think, the position of the index finger slightly. Just gonna see. You are. No, you're not, but you'd want to learn. Well, if you're new to my channel, feel free to subscribe. I did another live earlier today. I don't usually do 2 in a day, I haven't done one for a while, but I may cover long form videos as well. You might find those interesting. I do both drawing and painting videos. And I also have my artist community, and you have different level artists inside, beginners and experienced. So let's see this index finger. Usually I'd have the the sketchbook a little bit closer to me. It's a bit far away at the moment. I'm just trying to make sure that it fits in the frame, and I started quite high up the page, but it's fine. I wanted to go live rather than just do it myself, and I might actually make this a weekly thing where I do some of my figurative and anatomy studies on a live stream and share some of the things that I learn as I progress. So let's see. Clean up some of the areas just a little bit. So I'm now thinking about wrapping some of these contours, these lines around the hand that describe the form. Some of those wrinkles in the hand. Just need to sharpen my pencil. using an electric sharpener. I'll see if I can bring you a little bit closer to this one. Sometimes I'll use a blending stump just to get in a little bit of form. I'll press lightly in some areas and a little bit harder in others. Try not to use it too much, just a bit, just to get a little bit. Moving some of the graphite, spread it across the sketchbook a little bit. Get some value. But I think I've actually made the wrist a little bit too thin. Kind of comes back a little bit higher. I'd love to be able to turn the sketchbook around right now, but that'll do. Just put some slight additional detail on the face, but not too much, same like earlier. Also get some of the thumb knuckles in. some of these lines. This finger is slightly in front of the index finger, so I think I've done almost just about enough to move back down to the other hand. Just before I do, I'm just going to put just a little bit of very faint suggested detail, just to give it a bit more interest. So, back to this hand. So I'll focus on getting the thumb correct first. So I typically do this kind of shape on a finger or a thumb when I'm drawing it quickly, but that's not how it really looks. It's kind of stylized, but in real life it's thicker. So just going to flesh out skin on the thumb a little bit more. Make sure I show where the bits of the skin overlap. In some areas I really want to get like a really smooth stroke. I'll do it as much as possible. It's very satisfying, but when you're trying to work at a small scale and you're gripping your pencil in this way, it's a little bit more difficult to do. So I'm going to move back up to the index finger, get the base knuckle point in the right position. I think it actually curves this way. It turns upwards. The middle finger comes in front of this one, moving in a different direction. Just going to check the time. So I'm 26 minutes in. Okay. Almost halfway, so I should probably hurry up. This pinky is quite strongly foreshortened. So almost half an hour in, pretty much half an hour on the dot. Just going to see if there's anything I want to add on this one. Scan my eyes around a little bit. Just maybe little bits here and there. I think I might leave that one alone. Let's see. What else do I want to refine out of these sketches? Probably just clean some up. Let's see. Oh, I think that was one that I completely missed by the model. Well, what I think I'll do is I think I'll just very lightly clean some of these up, and then I might have space and time to do one more just over here and below this one. So, let's see. I have to get some very fine lines. Just wonder if I should use a different pencil for some of these. Mechanical pencil. Just lightly strengthening some of the lines in these. Bring this thumb a little bit further forward. This one I might have done a little bit too long before it folds back down, but let's at least get some of the foreshortening in. Just going to do a little scan over from the top. Let's see. I might just, in the final few minutes, actually, I think I'll correct this. And then do a new one. And maybe do the new one, keep it very gestural and loose. Pretty much like how I started this one. So, so I found the final one I want to work on. So, so this is another pose where the model had one of her hands over and in front of her head. So this would be her head down here. It's probably slightly turned this way. Let's get those ellipses in lightly. And then the other hand was closer to the camera below, down here, and pointing off in this direction. So I'm just gonna lightly map in. So I'll start with this hand above. It's a sharp angle at the top. Pinky finger kind of, it's almost like a straight down. You have the ring finger, curves a little bit. Index finger kind of follows that. Sorry, not the index finger, that was the ring finger. Middle finger, index finger. Index finger's coming out. And it's the thumb that's behind again. And then down here, got the base of the thumb. Outside of the palm. I think I'm going to change my grip in a minute. But I'm on 45 minutes, so can't go on for much more. Got to be quick now. The final Sip of tea. Almost there with this gesture before I move on. Just trying to make sure I've got the fingers in the correct position. Just get those middle knuckles in the right place and get these curves of the wrinkles in the correct place too. Changing my grip for a bit more control because I'm quite far away from the sketchbook looking at an angle, and it's a little bit tricky. I'm trying to keep an eye on my camera as well. So you've got to try and really just stay patient with this and just be really intentional about pretty much every line, because it describes the form, and if you do it in the wrong place, something's not going to look right. So you've got to constantly go back over what you've done, reassess, depends how much time you've got as well. Definitely pick up one of the knuckles, front of the hand there, which is quite nice. Get some of those hand wrinkles in, let them wrap around the hand, describing the form. And definitely need to suggest the fingernails before I finish. Even as a gesture sketch, I think it just adds, it doesn't take long, adds a lot more to it. And strengthen some of these lines too. So I need to try to keep in mind to stay consistent with the details. Now, if I wasn't live streaming, I'd be constantly moving my sketchbook around like this, so I could get like the same stroke as much as possible rather than trying to draw in multiple different directions. It just makes it a lot easier. And you're more likely to be a lot more accurate. But for the sake of making this video, doing it live, that's fine. I'm just adjusting. I feel like my pencil isn't sharp enough for that. Let's have a look. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to sharpen both, in fact. Won't be long. That's the first one. Cool. So approaching the final 6 minutes, and that's going to be my cut-off point for this, for tonight, because I have to hand this in and then move on to something else. Busy night tonight. So I think I want to make the tip of this finger just a little bit stronger and thicker, and try and make sure I get the fingernail the right spot. I think that will do. Yeah, into the final 5. And for this stream, I went out for over 2 hours earlier. I think it was the longest one I've ever done. 2 hours and 15 minutes, no break. So I think for this top hand, I'm almost there. And then I'll spend the final few minutes just detailing the bottom hand. I think that's it. Three minutes left. No pressure. into the final 2 minutes. Let's see. Okay, that's going to have to be it for this session. Thank you for everybody who's watched, who's been here, who's commented, who's watching the live replay. This is what I've got for today's work. Appreciate you so much, and hopefully see you on the next live stream sometime soon. Take care. Thank you so much again.